Star Wars Galactic Siege is the new entry of the Star Wars game, technically. Like, I mean, it's a game mode in Fortnite apart from other two that they released, but we have this. And you might be asking, like, why do we have this instead of Battlefront 3? Well, you have to understand a lot of things. Kill this guy. The first thing being, at the end of the day, Battlefront is associated with something that is well received among the Star Wars fans, but it's very bad received in the general public, and it's that Star Wars Battlefront, especially Battlefront 2, is tied to loot boxes, okay? We all hated loot boxes for a very long time, and they were fucking despicable, except in the game that actually popularized it, that was Overwatch 1, because back in the day Overwatch 1 had the loot boxes and they were easy to get as a free-to-play player, but whatever. Like, it wasn't a free-to-play game back then either way, but you know, you didn't have to spend money on loot boxes overall. That's what I'm trying to say. Battlefront 2 took the opposite turn around to this practice, and they just made it stingy, very hard to get if you didn't put money into it, and I think it also had like pay-to-win practices, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I didn't play Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it came out, to be fair, but I played it later on, and I have to say that it's a very good game. The thing is, like, if you want to start playing in Battlefront 2 right now, maybe you can only have matches in NA because it's not that popular. Like, there was a time that was popping off, but then again, you had to like play only in NA from my perspective, at least when I tried it. And if you were just starting to play the game now, you will encounter a lot of issues as a new player because there were a lot of veterans that already had a lot of perks, a lot of levels. If I'm not mistaken, there were hackers too back then. So at the end of the day, like, it wasn't like really easy to enter and start playing the game. At the same time, considering that this is something that happened also to Battlefield 6, I don't think those type of games are easy to make content around, because for competitive shooters or shooters in general, people love high stakes, people love like the risk of winning a match or losing a match, and try to not make bets, but you know, like, try to spice things up, right? So you didn't have much of a marketing, quote-unquote, whoa, I got melted, marketing, quote-unquote, from the content creators, right? You didn't have like big content creators pushing up that game that much. They made one video or two, but you know what I mean, right? There wasn't like for example, the Shinxi of Battlefront 2. Like, and yeah, a lot of people like underrate how a content creator can actually save the state of a game or not. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it wasn't as popping off as a lot of people think, but it was in a good state, like, though at the end of the day, like, the game in general was pretty fine overall. And why do we have this now? Like, why do we have a game mode in Fortnite instead of like a new game? Apart from the obvious that I don't think Disney wants to associate that much with Electronic Arts in terms of bigger projects, because if we remember, the last big project they made with Star Wars was Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Survivor, at least in PC, it used to run terrible and still is. So there is a much more interest in regards of like trying to make a big game now, because usually Star Wars and Electronic Arts is associated with something not that good, to be fair. Like, in general terms, it's not that great. So what's the thing that they can aim for? Ubisoft. The last game of Ubisoft didn't end well either, so the last thing they have is where they put all the monies on the table, which is Fortnite. Like, they put a big chunk of money, like they made an investment in Fortnite, a big investment in Fortnite. And I think it's more than value, considering that overall, like, sure, the mini season wasn't great at all for a lot of people. To me, it was a completely different thing, but I understand that for the general public, Star Wars mini-season was a disaster. And this is what we have now. Like, why do we have this instead of a game? Who are you gonna give a Battlefront game to? Like, do we have a AAA company that can actually run multiple people at the same time, fighting to capture a point? Like, I feel like EA, the people that made Battlefield, were the best for this take, right? So Fortnite is not that bad if you think about it. Like, they popularized the battle royale genre at the end of the day, so they can run multiple people in an area at the same time. if you think about it, what other game does that nowadays still? You can say Arc Riders, but let's be real, like, Arc Riders got popular for like a month or two and then just pretty much died. It doesn't matter like what reasons did that, but it's true that Disney won't associate with a company that just simply got a moment of shine, especially because it's technically a new company in the eyes of the people that do have money, you know, like, yes, they made the finance before and all that, but let's be real, like, who cares? Who fucking cares? Like, if you are a multi-billionaire, you have to think about this outside of the box of what I want and more like what is gonna give me the most revenue. Who has the most status as well? Like, it's about a lot of corporate bullshit that personally I really dislike for the most part, but I still get it. And it's just not fun eventually to have this type of conversation. Oh, why we are not gonna have Battlefield 3 in the end? Who are you gonna put to work on a Battlefield 3? That's my biggest question. Like, who are you gonna put? Fortnite? They're gonna make a new game when they are trying to make a metaverse like Roblox? No, they're just gonna put it in Fortnite and call it a day. I feel like it's the most reasonable thing that could happen with the state of Star Wars, especially when they already invested a lot of money into Fortnite, right? There was a news around there a month ago saying that Disney wanted to buy Fortnite. I don't buy it. Like, I read the entire news and not the headline, and it said something along the lines of someone that has a higher up charge said that it would be nice to buy Fortnite, or that if Fortnite was bought by Disney, it would be cool. But no, it wasn't never said that Disney is planning to buy Fortnite, you know, it was just like a comment passing by. So yeah, this is the state of Star Wars in general. I wish we had a new Lego game, to be fair, because I actually enjoy Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. If you haven't checked my video that I made last year around this day as well, you can check it out. Also, we won! We won! I'm not commenting much on the game because it's pretty much Battlefront. Like, you're watching it. Like, I don't have to tell you what's going on. You're watching what the game is about. The only nitpick that I have with this game mode is that I would appreciate if it had more than 2 maps. Eventually, we all want a Battlefront 3 instead, especially for me, because I don't really feel like playing Battlefront 2. I don't think like it's a nice entry in the state that it is right now for someone that wants to start playing the game. But this is something that happens with every shooter that simply, I won't say die, but you know, stops receiving updates. Like when it's entirely by the community to start playing the game, it's kind of rough to start in the game, you know? It's just hard, you know? A lot of people already know about the game and starting to play the game nowadays, it's a bit rough. And this happens with a lot of games nowadays, to be fair, but you know, the games that are still popping off and are popular, at least you get guides and you get help and you get like a fair matchmaking overall. Like when you have a game that doesn't have like a fair matchmaking, not even in the start, yeah, you just quit. You end up quitting. So I'm getting melted, speaking of. Like we won very easily in the last time, but now just getting melted and I'm not even sure from where. Why is this guy ignoring? This guy was ignoring everyone around me. Out of the 2 maps that we have in this thing, this is my favorite one by far. It's just bigger and yeah, outside the spaceship. Like the spaceship is cool, don't get me wrong, but I feel like with this one, you can pretty much try out different classes. The other one, you are kind of tied to the size of the map. Like if I want to play Recon, it's gonna be harder in the other map than in this one. And the thing is, like, you have also these matches in this game mode that you either destroy the other enemy or the enemy destroys you, and that's because like a lot of people that play this game mode don't really understand that you need to capture points. Like they just go and try to kill stuff without even attempting to capture the point or anything like that, and that's kind of annoying. I'm just gonna go the Emperor and try to capture A. I haven't tried all my powers because I bought upgrades, but the last time that I played this, I didn't use them, so I just tried to capture this. Oh, speaking of, no fucking way this guy show up. He's running away. He's running away. Hold on. We need to kill that thing. Whatever. I just tried to capture this. I think I'm screwed. And this is something that happens in this game too, and I feel like that's pretty much the reason why people are not really playing it that much. It's just that you encounter this, you have these teams that are very unbalanced. They destroy me. You have these teams that are very unbalanced, and people just like try to they don't coordinate, or they just try to go to one point and capture it, and they get melted, or like they don't even try to capture a point, they just try to kill stuff, and they don't even stand in the place where it is to capture the point, right? Can you die? Holy! And at the same time, using a sword into a gunfight, like, it looks cooler than it actually is. Like, in this game, I don't think this was a huge issue on the Star Wars season per se, but it's this game mode, it doesn't feel as cool as it is in the actual Battlefront, which is not an issue. Like, I'm not trying to complain about the people that made this game mode, but it's just a feedback that I make, which could probably be the reason why it's not that much popular as it could be, this game mode. Like, especially the maps, I feel like that's what people board the most pretty easily. And I have fun with this game mode, don't get me wrong, like, it's very fun. It's just that once you play it for an hour, you pretty much already play everything. And that's, that feels a bit boring in the long term. Like, I guess just throw more maps into it, or maybe more cosmetics, I don't know, just throw more of everything, and you're gonna have a more successful experience, I guess. And eventually Epic Games needs to like prioritize and publish more about the game itself, That's what I think, at least. But anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.